in, so let's get going.
Away we go. Weapons up to speed from the two spinners. Oh, and a big impact there. Over goes Galahad.
So immediately the first one up into the air. Killjoy killing the joy. I think we thought Tiburon is out, although the wheels are spinning.
Yeah, there's a little bit of movement in there, but Galahad has been absolutely shredded. Look, all parts of the wheels have been ripped away, but they're still functioning somehow. Going weapon to weapon now with Killjoy.
And I'm looking at Galahad. They have their forks up in the air. That makes them vulnerable, and Killjoy made short work of that.
They really did. They ripped the tyres off. The wheels aren't touching the floor, therefore they can't translate. Killjoy going through to the next round of the uni brackets.
So, just to remind the audience, fights are scheduled to last 2 minutes. Fight has begun, and we immediately see the spinners just powering up. That is what they're focusing on, and look at the destruction.
Oh, big impact there, and the link has come out of someone, I think it's out of Whirlpool, and Whirlpool has been
Is that a two-hit wonder?
I think it might be, and I think as well, Got Any Grapes has stopped, but Spins and Needles is trying to get off the wall. They can't quite manage it, and therefore I think... So it's a double knockout.
We've got cluster
What on earth happened there?
Trying to make sense, but it's
so that's the end of the fight. All three robots knocked out. Spins and Needles and Got Any Grapes immediately.
Activate.
And away we go. The weapon of Waveshine doesn't spin up, but the weapon of Fission looking pretty vicious already. They've also got a lifter on top as well. And into the air goes Record Player and Waveshine.
So immediately Fission getting into
there
the
goes
damage,
the link.
and that's the emergency link of Record Player as Waveshine goes up into the air.
Into the ceiling there. Back down on their wheels now, but another good attack here from Fission, looking very efficient in the arena.
So Waveshine darting around the arena and very nippy, taking these hits like a champ, but they are upside down, so their weapon is a little bit difficult to engage now.
The weapon isn't spinning at all, in fact. Waveshine has not spun up throughout the fight. Fission now lowers the lifter, hit button activated by Waveshine. They may think that could be their only route to victory in this match.
So absolutely, Waveshine.
Oh,
what
great
a
shot!
Hit.
Hole in one from Fission. Down the pit, descending goes Waveshine. Away we go. Camilla over by the pit button. Kurbstop. You can see the big robot name on the lifter. And we also have Obsidied as well, which is spinning up quite nicely. Good impact there on Kurbstop. Camilla rocking and rolling.
I'm not going to lie, I think I'm going to struggle to take Camilla seriously. They need to show me some aggression if I'm going to take them seriously.
Another one thing I want to say about Kurbstop that I love, by the way, they're not being controlled by normal RC transmitter. It's being driven on a PlayStation 4 controller.
Oh, that's beautiful to see. I mean, why not stick to what you know?
Exactly.
So the pitch is now lowering. We have that warning now, and everyone's staying very much away from that.
Good lift there from Kurbstop, but it's been turned over in the process. Can it self-right? The weight in front, they've got a big weight on the top. Can they right itself? Go on, it can do it.
Teetering on their back. They're a little bit stuck.
Go on. Yes! And Kurbstop is still moving.
Big cheer from the crowd there. So now
good lift on Camilla as well. I think that is the end of Obsidied, by the way. So they are now eliminated from the match, I think.
And I can see there is some big shrapnel in the middle of the arena. I have no idea which robot.
Great lift by Kurbstop. Over goes Camilla, and that is the end of the fight. Kurbstop is the winner in some style. Wow, what a turnaround that is.
Activate.
Away we go. The crowd are chanting for the cheese.
And immediately cheese is up in the air as they now get back into the fight.
A chainsaw weapon on the centre of Monterey Jack is potentially lethal. We haven't really seen it to great effect in the past though. Contradiction with the egg beater spinner in the middle also has great damage potential as well. Ray, a solid control and pushing robot, going weapon to weapon there with Contradiction.
That's the second time Monterey Jack has got up in the air, so going up against these
good control there, look at that.
Weapons.
In underneath and good control there, grabbing Contradiction with the arms at the back and using the chainsaw to hold it on there. Ray goes for the pick button activated.
So does Monterey have a grabber or is it a flipper?
It's a grabber at the back and then a chainsaw in the middle, but it's down the pit, it's irrelevant. A Contradiction on the very lip of the pit, but gets away. They're still trying to go down it, but Ray couldn't push them down.
So Monterey Jack is out, and we are now continuing on with two robots.
We are.
Very close on the edge, getting caught on Monterey Jack. Why are they fighting so close to the pit?
We are, but also note the weapon of Contradiction. It has now stopped. I don't know if that's a tactical decision or a enforced one. Contradiction is now looking also pretty sluggish. Ray zipping around it quite nicely.
Sluggish, but there does seem to be great traction and friction on that arena floor, so they're being difficult to move around. That run-up is very dangerous.
It is, but Ray's getting them very close to the pit. If you go down there, it is fight over, and Ray is the victor, but they need to be careful not to just drive down it themselves.
30 seconds left of this fight, so they are staying in this danger
zone. way! What have you... I said it! I said don't do that, Pip! What have you done? Green. Away we go.
And everyone converging in the middle there, and Stratus actually struggling to get their weapon and getting speed hole, doing a fantastic job to try and nip away.
Massive impact, and there goes the weapon. It's been completely shredded, and the weapon has stopped. The robot stopped. Burnout stuck against the arena wall, and the lifter has been peeled upwards. Burnout is stuck against the arena wall. Stratus having a little look, doesn't fancy it. And Speedhole Express doesn't fancy getting back up. Stratus, I think, has won the fight already. That was massively impressive.
Burnout is desperately trying.
They're back!
Sure. They've been counted out. Jevon was desperately, frantically waving the flipper, but they couldn't get disengaged.
So close for Burnout. They just recovered.
I remember once there was a chant, everything's a drum, and it scared the hell out of me. But now we're into the fight.
It truly is everything a drum, and look at the size of it. If that comes into contact with you, it's a bad day, no matter what happens, really.
And it's a bad day for the arena floor because we're starting to see sparks already from Detonator, and WheelyBigLad, they're just kind of flailing around with their weapon as Data Breach pushes Detonator into the corner.
Good control by Data Breach thus far. Detonator is upside down and needs to get up the right way because they can't utilise the weapon in the way that they would like, because they're spinning down into the ground and not up into the air. That's a good attack, and now it's okay. So that could be a little bit better for Detonator now. They go weapon to back with Data Breach, and they've turned themselves over again. Milo, slow it down!
So the pitch has now dropped down. Detonator up into the air. Massive impact.
And the weapon has gone on Detonator. It's stopped working. That is a huge impact. Something is broken. WheelyBigLad down the pits. Oh dear, Shaky. What have you done?
So I actually think now the fight is in favour of Data Breach because WheelyBigLad is almost blocking the pit entirely. Yes. I don't think anyone else can get down there.
No, but the speed and the control of... Oh, what a great lift!
So the first outer zone of the day.
Brilliant work from Data Breach.
Away
we go. Grey Area and Fang go weapon to weapon straight away. Good push by Grey Area. Off comes a tyre, I believe, off of mild Perillelogram. Fang's weapon up to speed and grinding away on the wedge at the front. Oh, and something's gone flying off. I think it's the fork mount, actually, of Fang.
So Fang's kind of having their way at the moment in terms of damage, but actually these Roboteers are being very smart with their protective weapons.
Oh, there goes the
weapon of Fang!
Completely ripped out, and now it's just spinning on the spot, but that is a disaster for Fang. Their weapon has been completely destroyed. The weapon of Grey Area, I love the little motion of it, the 4-bar action in the full display, and great driving as well from Grey Area.
So mild Perillelogram is actually the perfect height for Grey Area to actually just nipple on the top. But Fang now, purely based on traction, they've got no weapon.
And getting shredded in the process, and they've been caught on the lip of the pit there.
One wheel now for Fang, so all it takes is an easy robot.
Good lift by mild Perillelogram, though. They've got Grey Area stuck by the arena wall. Can they bring the arm over? Fang down the pit, they're out. We're down to 2.
Do you think that was a lift by mild Perillelogram? Because I actually think Grey Area
drove over. Mild Perillelogram, they commit Harry Carry. Down they go. Grey Area is...
Chucky was shaking their head when you were hyping them up. So let's see how this fight unfolds.
Adam's only... Dylan's sorry, he's only modest, so we'll have to see how he gets on here. Big lift there by Schism using the control aspect of their robot immediately to try and hit Miura. And now Chucky. Chucky snagged on the fork at the front of Schism. Gets away now.
So Chucky's very much focused on that control element, scoop them up, pin them against the wall, and everyone else is trying to get out of Chucky's jaws.
Up and over goes Miura, back on its wheels now, trying to bring that weapon into play.
And a great flip there by Chucky.
Schism just kind of a little bit of a watching brief at the moment, trying to be the more control element here. Pin robots against the wall and then bring that hammer saw into play to cause damage, like we're hopefully going to see in a second. Oh, good impact there from Miura.
Miura getting a little bit pinned in between the 2 robots, but coming out fighting now, and we can see the forks off Schism stuck up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely, that's not what you want. You want your forks riding on the floor. Schism pins Miura now. Weapon down it comes!
And Chucky just sitting and waiting. I thought they were going to come in for a double pin, but didn't quite fancy it.
No, good lift there by Chucky, flipping Schism over, back into the pit, but goes Miura. All 3 of these pretty effective in the arena. Schism on the attack now on Chucky. Down comes the hammer saw once, trying to pin Chucky.
So looking at the top of Chucky, he didn't hit much again. And look at that, just diving into Miura there. Miura goes up and now back in the fight.
Schism. Good tussle this, isn't it? All 3 of these very much in the fight. Schism trying to go play the ground game with Chucky. Over goes Schism against Self-Rights quickly. All three very close to the pit. Chucky pinned, and down comes the hammer saw of Schism, clutched into Chucky. Miura almost down the pit as well.
Less than 20 seconds left. Can Schism get Chucky into the pit? Ever closer.
They can.
Doesn't want anything in, and I think that's a stuck.
It is. It's an unstick, so always been a good control robot. Craig, can you decipher anything?
Jack Tweedy, why have you done this?
I do like this. Miura's actually positioned in a way where they have the prime opportunity to charge in. That might mean they can.
Away we go. Schism brings the weapon back, and there goes Chucky straight down the pit. I said you got to be careful. And only a few seconds left to go. Miura up to speed. Schism is not weapon to weapon with Schism. Schism brings the weapon down and shredding a fork right at the death. We go to time. Away we go. Weapon up to speed immediately there on Antimatter. Good lift by Sir Lancerfrog. Gets away.
So Sir Lancerfrog immediately going for the rear end, which is a little bit cheeky, but that is the safe spot of Antimatter.
Yeah, you don't want to go weapon to weapon because that can happen there. Shredding all kinds of paintwork off of Sir Lancerfrog. They spent a lot of time on that. Something's come flying off. I think it's part of Antimatter. I'm not quite sure what though.
So it's going to be challenging for Strongerhold because they don't want to get their weapon over the egg beater, and so close to the Uta zone with Sir Lancerfrog. But they
great self-righting though by Sir Lancerfrog. Stylishly done. Pit bun is available now. Strongerhold gets a good grapple hold on Antimatter. Good control though by all three. Sir Lancerfrog stuck on the arena wall. Can they get away?
So they're going to need someone to knock him off, and look at that.
Very
Strongerhold coming to the save.
Strongerhold, I like that. And pit bun activated by Sir Lancerfrog. Over goes Antimatter. Not as effective this way around, but they can still cause damage. Antimatter now gets a good grab on the frog once again.
So Strongerhold changing their focus, focusing more on Sir Lancerfrog, and their weapon, their grabbing ability is looking less and less strong because that weapon is now slightly twisted.
More bits and pieces coming off the frog.
And have they jammed the beater?
No, they have now. They've got the weapon stuck behind the egg beater. Good push by Strongerhold. Round the back goes Lancerfrog. Can they get in underneath and try and push them down the pit, I wonder? All three of these have been very, very good in this fight, haven't they?
Absolutely, and I think Antimatter is maybe unfairly being picked on by the other two robots because they know that if they get them out of the fight, if Antimatter goes down the pit, they can have a control battle and they don't need to fear that spinning beater.
Lancerfrog using Antimatter as a chair. Great push by Sir Lancerfrog. Antimatter now pinned in the jaw of the pit. Not hit the bottom yet though, so they're not out, but I think they're going to be counted out momentarily. Good push by Lancerfrog. And now Strongerhold trying to push the frog down, but doesn't manage it.
So they're pirouetting.
Good lift by Sir Lancerfrog at the death as well.
Tussling around each other, and the fight's about to end with Sir Lancerfrog getting the final pin.
All three of those were superb in that match. Really well done. The blue we have Jackhammer. In the green we have Prototype, who's straight across and turning Jackhammer over. Great lift.
So Prototype immediately trying to disengage Jackhammer's weapon. Look at Jackhammer throwing themselves across the arena.
Ingot stuck on the centre crease in the arena. And that's a great impact, but there's a lipo out. I believe that's the lipo of Jackhammer.
Reese, why?
That is a plea if I've ever heard one. Let's see if they honour it. So Prototype and Ingot left in the battle.
Away we go. Prototype gets in underneath Ingot there. We saw Ingot struggling with ground clearance in the middle of the arena, and Prototype looking pretty effective thus far.
And just with the angle that we have at the moment, I'm looking at it, it looks a little bowed in the middle. I'm not sure if that's the reason why it's struggling.
Possibly. Good lift there from Prototype. Tries to get it pinned against the arena wall. Doesn't manage it on that occasion. Does this time. Ingot stuck. Oh, but it gets down.
So Ingot is not going to be pinned up against the wall. They can fight on, and we have got 1 minute 15 left of this fight, and no one is going over to the pit button.
No, I don't think they need to, because that's a good attack there from Prototype. Ingot can't get down this time. Oh, very good.
And I think Ingot has 10 seconds to wiggle their way free. Wiggle. If we shout and cheer enough, Ingot might just do it. But
not quite. Good performance though by Prototype. As I said, away we go.
So watch out for Lilith here, because they are fantastic in control and immediately putting Sore Loser up against the wall.
And over. Good self-right there by Sore Loser. They'll be hoping to get that weapon into play any moment now. Good, like that. And a big scar on the top of Lilith. Lilith won't be very impressed with that.
I think that was an accidental contact with the sword, because Sore Loser tips themselves up with
their
speed.
There goes the lifter there of Bogmeister, which has been completely ripped off by Sore Loser. And Bogmeister is stocked, and over goes Lilith.
What a fantastic hammer from Sore Loser. Bogmeister's still in this though.
The sparks fly in the arena. Sore Loser hit Lilith again, more damage sustained. Lilith's fork is stuck under the arena wall.
So So Lilith, they're suffering the consequences of their forks, and that puts Bogmeister and Sore Loser up against each other with the pits now down.
And that is, I believe, Lilith counted out and more damage to Bogmeister.
So Tactical there, taking off the fork of Bogmeister and the ability to control. Do they have the traction to fight back?
No, they don't.
Do not.
Sore Loser, Surgical, and a great win. Lilith stuck on
Active.
Away we go.
Well, we'll see how it activates, and immediately going over to Will is Forkhead. That was not ideal, and now we're starting to see Forkhead
Oh,
really
it's done the
start to
thing.
engage.
That's the end of Everest. Wayo looking menacing, the angry little rumour that it is. Coming into contact with Forkhead. Forkhead doesn't fear it though. There goes a wheel.
Everest got caught on the top of Wayo and just got banged out and then flung away. And you can see that Wayo is actually just hunkering down.
Menacing. It has this like horrible little drill hub as well, and it's shredding the underside of Forkhead. Forkhead goes to the pit crazy, but they are getting torn apart by Wayo here. Wayo is less than 2 centimetres tall. It's unbelievable.
Everest is slowly descending to the pit. What a sad sight. And now we've got Forkhead just trying to survive.
Forkhead doing a brilliant job staying in the fight, but Wayo is the dominant force in this match, isn't it? Look at it, shredding Forkhead down the pit. Wayo through to the next one.
The way in.
Active.
Away we go. And shredding away immediately is Colt up to speed. Oh, there goes the wedge of inversion, just obliterated around the arena. Look at the weapon of Colt. Shredding in underneath, overclocked as well. There goes inversion. It's just like polystyrene all over the arena.
So both sides now are absolutely damaged, and that was a missed hammer blow by Overclock.
Look at the damage from Colt again, spinning up to speed and coming into contact with that lone fork of overclocked. Oh my word. Poor old Inversion. Inversion is a great robot, by the way. It finished second at the Robo Showdown event in Birmingham last year, Aston Uni. It's struggling to do well in this fight though, because Colt is an absolute menace to society. Look at it.
So Overclock chassis, their side pieces are now being lifted up. I don't really know what to say about Inversion.
Oh.
There's not going to be anything left of them. And Colt is just having their way with these robots. But Overclocked is now protected by the pit.
It is, but Inversion has got no wheels, so back into the action, Inversion, off you go. Back into the fights.
It's now a shuffler or a default shuffler.
It's got nothing left.
So what's going to happen here? Overclocked is trying to shimmy their way out of the danger zone, but I mean, Colt doesn't want to go near that pit.
If Joe's sensible, he backs off and he wins the fight. But
that leaves us with 40 seconds of nothing.
But he's not sensible. He's going to try and hit him, and he has gone for it. Don't go down the pit, Joe, for goodness sake. Stop the weapon. Clever. And now Overclocked has the active shuffler in the pit. They can't get away from there. Colt is going to run out a very, very worthy winner. What a robot Colt is.
Oh, but actually you say that.
No, it's done. It's been counted out. Colt the winner. I did say it was a bit of... Away we go.
So Abracadabra making no short work of running over to Icebreaker, trying to stop them. And there goes Photon flying into the air.
And a massive impact there. There goes one of the forks that Abracadabra self-rights quickly. Icebreaker very quick around the arena and so dangerous and shredding already. Look, the outer armour of Photon rights itself pretty nicely though.
We mentioned Icebreaker. They have fantastic traction, fantastic speed. The drivability of that robot is insane. But they are now being pinned against the wall.
And Adam is a superb driver as well. I believe he's only 17, 18 years old. He's a young lad. He's so good at keeping opponents juggling in the air, and something's come. Some smacking.
That was the spinning disc of Photon there. Does that count as a double pin for Abracadabra?
No, he's got down there, but that's a good attack from Photon. The top of Icebreaker doesn't get any major meaningful damage on the big vertical.
I'm just watching Abracadabra brilliantly dodging Icebreaker, and now we've got a pin against the two robots. Icebreaker is being teamed up on here.
I think rightly so, because they are both kind of taking a pasting from Icebreaker. Good push there from Photon on Abracadabra. Abracadabra hits the pit button down. It will go momentarily. Photon upside down. Abracadabra is taking hits, but is designed to take hits. The whole robot's made out of HDPE plastic and all designed to bend and flex. That's a good lift from Abracadabra on Icebreaker.
If they could just shimmy those forks underneath Icebreaker a bit more, then they'll get an even better lift, putting that weapon up against the wall. That's really what they want to do.
Both doing very well at kind of staying out of trouble for Icebreaker, but it's so dangerous and you can see why.
And jumping over the pit.
What have you done?
Abracadabra
Oh,
falling
Becca.
into the pit goes Abracadabra, and is that Photon stuck?
I think it might be. Icebreaker stands off in the blink of an eye. The fight is basically won. That's why Icebreaker are so good and so deadly. And the fight, I think, is won.
9.
Yes, it is. By Icebreaker.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Away we go.
So the audience cheering on their favourites and Don't Stop Me Now getting underneath Boom Zoom, but immediately being returned back up against the wall.
Boom Zoom, such a good little lift it. Pops robots up very nicely. It's so quick around the floor. But also today, I believe for the first time, is running a mini boss in the arena, and a wheel has come off exposure.
And a belt as well, you can see there, so their drive is going to be hampered, but they're still manoeuvring around, and Boom Zoom now turning their attention to Don't Stop Me Now.
The issue is, though, the wheel that's come off is the powered wheel, not the wheel that at the front that's not powered. So that will massively hamper their manoeuvrability. They've only got essentially now one wheel drive. Good push by Don't Stop Me Now on Boom Zoom, though.
And that's the risk. If you go up against the spinning disc of exposure, even though they're not mobile, it is still a powerful weapon. And Don't Stop Me Now getting flung up, as is Boom Zoom. And is that Don't Stop Me Now getting stuck on Boom Zoom?
It is indeed. I wonder what's going to happen here. Is that going to be a unstick? Maybe not. I don't know. Boom Zoom doing a very decent job of kind of corralling and controlling exposure. Exposure's weapon spins down. The weapon belt has gone entirely.
We'll just reposition these robots. We're taking the mini-bot out. Let's see if they'll work together just to shove them into the pit. We have under a minute left of this fight.
Away we go. Good push there from Boom Zoom. Immediately exposure right next to the pit. They've been turned over. They can't self-right. That is the end of exposure. So we're down to 2. Don't Stop Me Now and Boom Zoom. Boom Zoom, the one with the active weapon, the green and yellow John Deere tractor-inspired robots. You should see Rob's t-shirt, it's superb.
And I've been very intrigued seeing who's going to win the pushing battle out of these two. They are very well matched. It is hard to see who has that power. Don't Stop Me Now seems to be pushing Boom Zoom just a little bit, but that's where Boom Zoom's weapon comes in.
Absolutely, they're able to free themselves using that weapon. One of the forks have come off Don't Stop Me Now, it's split. I think it's got damaged in the exchanges with exposure, but they're doing a very good job here of pinning Boom Zoom.
Just trying to control the final 10 seconds of this fight. So Don't Stop Me Now, keeping their back away from the pits. They don't want to be anywhere near there and get it underneath Boom Zoom.
They've done very well to stay in the fight. I said Boom Zoom is one of the favourites, I think, today to win this whole thing, but they've done a decent job of keeping in the fight for the full 2 minutes. Here we go to the judge. Away we go. Cormoran, weapon to weapon. And good grab there on Galahad. And is that the end of Cormelian? I think it might be. There's no translation from there.
So Chameleon has, they've blended in. They've stuck themselves, they're not moving. And Galahad releasing and immediately tipping themselves over.
Galahad as well, a competitor from Chichester University, travelled all the way down, didn't win the first fight, having to fight their way back in. So far, Cormoran doing a decent job of pinning and controlling that nasty spinner, and has got them against the arena wall. Cormoran, that's more like it.
Finally, we're seeing the weapon of Galahad come into play as Cormoran doing a fantastic job controlling the initial stages. We're heading into the second half almost. And look at the shrapnel, the metal of Cormoran just being flung up into the air.
The fork of Cormoran there is caught in the Galahad weapon setup, so we'll have to pause the fight.
Can we call that a fork? The sheet of the sheet of aluminium, is that a fork?
It's trying, isn't it? It is trying. There you go. It's been released. So, Cormoran has a minute and 5 seconds to either last or try and get a pitting maybe on Galahad. Galahad will be hoping just to tear Cormoran apart for the next minute.
So there is 1 minute left of this battle. The pit has not come into play yet. And I think that suits Galahad a lot more than it suits Cormoran, because Cormoran's been doing a fantastic job controlling, getting the grip on Galahad.
Oh, there goes the fork, completely ripped away, but the weapon has now stopped on Galahad.
Well, that's because it's lodged. So the shrapnel, the debris of Cormoran was lodged in Galahad's spinning disc.
It's
and
free
I don't
now,
know,
but the weapon is still not spinning. That has damaged Galahad. So Galahad is now weaponless. Cormoran have disabled that by virtue of, well, ejecting one of its forks into the weapon. Cormoran grabs Galahad. Can they drag them towards the pit? Galahad pushes. Cormoran holds on. It's going. It's going. It's not gone yet. It's going to release soon.
I don't know how this is going to be counted out. Cormoran is not held.
It's going. Is it down the pit? I think it's down the pit.
There we go.
There it goes.
See who's the victor.
Absolutely, away we go. Loughborough Uni takes on Bristol Uni. Weapon of Waveshine this time is spinning up to speed, which is great to see. Spins and Needles have hit the wall a couple of times and they've stopped spinning. That could be a concern for them.
As soon as you mention it, it
I
stops
know.
working.
And I think as well, there's a shuffle pod down on Spins and Needles. It's been shredded, and then that could be the end of the fight for them.
But we got a pin going on here. Waveshine pinned against the wall by the mini-bot.
Brilliant work, but I don't think it's going to matter because Spins and Needles cannot get out of their circumference. That could be the end of the fight any time now. Ref is counting them down. Waveshine, I think, is going to make it through to the next round.
I mean, Waveshine's just having a bit of a play here with the mini-bot. They're not spinning up their weapon, they're just having a push him out.
That is it. And it's a win for Waveshine. Bristol Uni, away we go.
And a bit of a shock, really, to see Whirlpool in this redemption, but they gave the arena wall a tap.
Oh my goodness! Good prediction, Gav. Well done. You've done a few events at this point, so you know what you're talking about.
I mean,
my goodness, there's nothing left of poor old Camilla.
I'm conflicted.
Activate.
From Bristol University, and we have Obsidied from Loughborough. Weapon is up to speed on Obsidied. Here comes the friendly fire. No, not yet. Nice attempt there. I love the... Oh, that's cruel. Come on.
There's finesse points there.
Oh, there it goes.
And there's the friendly fire we mentioned.
It's still going, to its credit. The ant weight's still in the arena. Oh, well, it was, and now it's not.
El Tiburon looks out, though. They're not really manoeuvring.
No, that wheel is completely sheared off, hasn't it, on the one-hand side. It's still kind of almost translating across the arena, so that's why this fight's still continuing. But the longer this fight goes on, the more you've got to fear for them.
So really, this is for Obsidied to pick and choose. How do they want to fight El Tiburon? How do they want to charge in with their spinning weapon? Get it up to speed and then charge in. Looks like they're trying to aim for the sole driving wheel of El Tiburon.
Yeah. And they are starting to slowly split the kind of wheel guard on the free side on El Tiburon. Oh, there goes the link though. That's gone, and that is the end of the fight because the removal link has come out. It means the robot is now safe. You don't want a safe robot in the arena. And it is a win for Obsidied, and Luff will do well to get through here, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Well, I'm looking at Speedy Hole, and they do actually have a chunk taken out of them still, so they haven't done a full repair. They focus more on that arm, which is obviously their more dominant weapon.
Absolutely, and it's required to self-right, which may be needed in this match against Chucky, although at the moment, Chucky's struggling to get in underneath with its own forks, those massive pontoons at the front of Speedhole Express, doing a decent job of getting in underneath Chucky and keeping them away from harm's reach.
I think Speedy Hole really just needs to ensure that they position themselves so that when Chucky does that driving forward into like that, they go up and over Speedy Hole, because that's really going to protect them.
Absolutely. So far, I'd say Speedhole Express have done a very decent job, and they've done a very good job of kind of keeping away from the weapon of Chucky, keeping them at arm's length.
Absolutely.
In he goes again.
Almost at fork's length, because those forks of Chucky are so long. And the arm of Speedy Hole Express is drooped over, and that is them done. But they've got a lovely pin in the corner.
They did indeed. Hit pit button activated, and a good lift from Chucky. That could be all she wrote. And I think it is Speedhole Express. Oh, he got down!
Don't count them out just yet. So Speedy Hole Express still in this fight. Chucky going straight back in and immediately on their end. Can they do the same? Yes, they can.
I mean, it's good value. I don't know if it's going to be very effective, but it's a good push from Speedhole Express.
Push.
Can they get Chucky down the pit? It'll be an almighty upset, in my opinion. Almost down Chucky. Can they get away?
Teetering on the edge. Speedhole Express needs to not.
They've done it! Speedhole Express has beaten Chucky.
Activate.
So a battle of control between these two robots, and Perillelogram doing a bit of a pirouette 180, and I don't quite understand why, but now they are facing with their shunter into a Monterey Jack.
Yeah, good lifter at the front as well, trying to get in underneath and maybe turn Monterey Jack upside down. Monterey Jack pursuing them, trying to get that chainsaw into play. Up goes the lifter the wrong way. That's okay, doesn't matter, they can keep using that in an effective manner. They can use the whole robot to kind of lift Monterey Jack. That's a good push. Couldn't quite get it up and over.
And the button wasn't activated in time, so it didn't actually get touched. No. So the pit has not come into play yet.
Not yet. In goes that chainsaw of Monterey Jack. You can see it's kind of dragging the robot up through the middle of Monterey Jack.
And it's quite a difficult weapon to really see and how effective it is, because you can't necessarily see the blades. And Well, it does damage on top. Well, the robot has to
good
be on top
attack
of it.
here from Mile Parallelogram, trying to clamp down on Monterey. That gets away though. It is causing issues for Mile Parallelogram, that chainsaw, isn't it? It is cutting through the plastic.
Well, as I said, it's hard for us to see because the robot is sat on top and is doing the damage underneath. And now we've got Mile Parallelogram shunting up against the wall. Does that count as a pin?
It does. Pushing back on Monterey Jack. Up on top now. Gets away. Mile Parallelogram chases the cheese.
And not only chases, but managed to get underneath. So they're staying in control at the moment. And are we going to see a bit of a grab here? They're both looking a little stuck, and a shunting match is now underway.
They are. So Mile Parallelogram couldn't get away there, but they weren't able to really translate with the robot on top. Monterey Jack, and they're using their weapon effectively, but not really causing the peril that they were hoping for. They are cutting through the plastic. You can see bits and pieces coming off it now.
I think Monterey Jack are more focused on getting Mile Parallelogram into the pit. They were doing a fantastic job juggling Mile Parallelogram on their round.
Very close to the pit. They've got 4 seconds to go to time, but we don't get it.
On an exhibition, this is going to be a fantastic watch.
Good lift from Frog immediately in underneath Ray. Ray didn't win the ground battle at the start. Lancer Frog controlling the start pretty nicely there.
But I do feel that Ray was the quicker of the two, and that potentially hurted them, giving them more momentum to go over the top of Sir Lancer Frog.
I believe they have the same drive motors, but Ray is 4-wheel drive, Lancer Frog is 2. I wonder if that could be a factor later on. Good control there from Ray in underneath. In the red.
Sir Lancer Frog pirouetting away, so Ray wasn't really able to do much of that. And there's the shunting battle. Sir Lancer Frog appears to be the stronger.
And a good pin as well against the arena wall, using the lifter as a grabber. Good control from Sir Lancer Frog. Pit bun activated. A new tactic maybe from Nick, using the lifter as a grabber could benefit them in the long run. Good lift though on Ray.
Especially in this battle. So Sir Lancer Frog darting around, somewhat taking control, and now we're locked in that pirouette spin, but they get out of it. And I think Ray's now really trying to get into this fight, keeping Sir Lancer Frog on the right side of that pit.
Yeah, good control there. I think when they go face to face, the Lancer Frog forks, you can see in the front there, the 2 white kind of pontoons, are lower than Ray's snout. However, any other angle, Ray can get in underneath quite happily, and it is kind of showing at the moment that it's able to get in underneath more than Lancer Frog is. Almost goes down the pit there, escapes.
I am shocked by these Roboteers. Neither of them scared to battle around the pit.
And
they are happy to dance around it.
Good lift from Sir Lancer Frog, almost pinned on the wall, gets away and into the corner. Good control from the Frog. Can a Frog beat a Fox? I have no idea.
So 30 seconds left of this fight. Sir Lancer Frog not really in a good position, but one wheel hanging over the edge. And in it goes!
Sir Lancer Frog dug deep, couldn't disking earlier on today. Oh, there it goes again! It's like a Beyblade in the arena!
Immediately defanged again! So now we've got Miura. Actually, Fang doing a fantastic pin in the corner here.
Absolutely, and down goes the weapon of Miura. Is that just a tactical thing? Yes, it is. Up to speed once again. Fang, what do you do now, son? You've got no weapon, and I think very shortly, not much competition left because they've been shredded, but great control and pinning from Fang. Waiting for the pit button, and then maybe push them down the pit. Is that the solution? Oh, and almost out of the arena! And there it goes. Brilliant work. I have to say, apologies.
Until the pit becomes
Away
a factor.
we go, and the spin up of Detonator is minimal. Oh dear, what's going on there, Milo? We'll have to see if we can get it up to crank through the gears in a second. It's starting to. Not quite able to get it fully up to speed, but Burnout trying to make sure it doesn't get a chance to.
But I don't think Detonator necessarily needs his weapon. I mean, they can come in this with a different style. They can come in here and try and control the fight a different way. And Burnout is so quick that it might just find itself flying around the arena. And once that pit lowers, accidentally falling in. We've seen it so many times today.
Burnout is definitely the slower of the two, would you believe? It's got a lot more drive power, does Detonator, but it's relying on getting in underneath and pushing them. But they are doing a decent job of doing so. Look at that. Great drive power there on Detonator, despite the lack of weapon, still competing very well in the fight. Good driving though by Burnout, and down the pit goes Detonator. Antimatter can actually do to it. WheelyBigLad were hoping to bring that weapon in the middle to it, but look at that, being hit and shredded already, the wheels.
So it is shredding the wheels of WheelyBigLad, but the problem is they're so flimsy anyway that actually there's not much rigidity there, so they just deflect away from the egg beater of Antimatter.
And WheelyBigLad's weapon is a spinner on the arm as well, so they can bring it into play and thwack it down, and that's what they've done. They've bent the chassis, I think, on Antimatter. Antimatter cannot drive.
Antimatter
out.
out.
And WheelyBigLad showboating in celebration. They,
Capability, let's see what they do.
of course, well, there goes the lifter immediately. Seconds into the fight, but over goes Exposure. Of course, they lost a wheel in the first fight. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Good response, though, by Bogmeister, holding it back, using those pontoons as kind of like a keep-away stick, if you like, and so far doing a decent job of keeping it away until then, and that's entire front panel ripped away. Still okay, though, for now.
But we do have Bogmeister has to be careful because their circuitry is exposed.
That is the end of that.
Enable.
Bogmeister still running, still going.
They don't need it. They don't need it. We'll carry on. It's just a servo.
The Bog chants are going.
So, Exposure now looking to have their way with what remains of Bogmeister.
I think that could be the end of Bog. Bogmeister have tapped out. That's the end of that. But what a performance, a spirited effort from Bogmeister.
Get themselves unstuck.
They were.
So they're not afraid of the pin. They know they've been there as well.
But they're showing their rear end to Everest. It's almost a bit like insulting to show the rear end off, but they're doing it. And they're peeling up the steel, the corrugated armour. And I think that could be the end of that already because the armour's been peeled up. They cannot run upside down. Everest stands off.
That almost as if there was a game plan. If you were a coach going into a game, that would be the game plan you'd write. Tilt up the mess.
Get pinned under the arena walls.
But still a very low running ramp, so they're able to get underneath Inversion and doing a fantastic job. Although saying that, Inversion winning that fork battle.
Good little lift there from Inversion and using the kind of lifting arm to kind of pin them against the arena wall. Good lift on Lilith. Lilith self-rights with nice style as well. Over goes Lilith. Good drive away, turned over, self-rights, turned over.
Gets stuck and then pinned up against the wall.
Great driving.
Stuck.
Unbelievable work from Inversion. And Lilith is stuck against the arena wall.
Enable.
Can they drive away from there? Can they get themselves down? A shake of the head from David. And I think that could be that. Oh, it's a shame. Lilith stuck against the arena wall. Inversion the winner. Good fight from Inversion in about 10 seconds. So hopefully they won't have the same issue this time themselves.
So we've been robbed of the Hammer Sword v Hammer Sword fight. And Jackhammer showing us their aggression, how fierce that weapon is, but Photon with a pin.
Goodness me, Jackhammer hammering the floor.
Hasn't actually got a hit
but
on
the
Photon
weapon slowed
yet.
down. Oh, I thought the weapon was going to stop for a second there. It slowed down momentarily, but so far Photon, despite having no Hammer Sword of their own and no weapon, are doing a very, very good job of keeping them kind of at harm's reach. That won't help them. That weapon, when it comes into contact, is going to be brutal, I'm sure, from Jackhammer like that. And we've seen damage, and that is, well, a bit of an issue there because I think they've lost a side of drive. Something's gone very wrong here for Photon. Jackhammer lining up another shot if they need to. I don't think they need to.
I can see on Photon one of the belts have gone loose. Absolutely. And Jackhammer's winding up for a hit.
Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it?
Go on, do it. Do it.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. The fight was won. Didn't need to do it. No, but good control bots.
And I'm going to be intrigued to see how Abracadabra can really manage Forkhead's ability to kind of flip around its own body.
Yeah, it's a weird design to kind of get a hold of, and Abracadabra going in with a mini-bot this time as well. Hopefully they'll be there to distract and annoy Forkhead. Forkhead doing a decent job at the moment of annoying Abracadabra, pinging them against the wall. They get down, but they lock horns a little bit.
I think that was interesting there from Forkhead. Abracadabra for a moment looked a little stuck, pivoting on his back, but that's a great pin from Forkhead.
Spinning its pontoon around and around. Pit button is available. Now, I think the issue that Abracadabra could have here is they do lack the drive power that Forkhead does, because look at that, Forkhead just bullying Abracadabra around the arena. Good push again. Great control. I'm
looking at the shovel of Abracadabra. It's nowhere near the floor. It really is lifted up a lot more. So if Forkhead could get in at the side, then Abracadabra could do nothing to stop it.
Pit button activated by the mini-boss of Abracadabra. So the pit will be available momentarily. There it goes. Abracadabra on top of Forkhead. Good lift from Forkhead. The mini-bot in there as well. Locking horns together. Good control by Forkhead, but gets away Abracadabra.
So Forkhead not able to carry Abracadabra over to the pit. That was what they wanted to do there. Less than a minute in this fight, and Abracadabra, I think, on the back, so they need to start taking some control.
We've seen Becker take this robot to the top 8 before. At the moment, they will be trying to get their way through to the round of 32. Forkhead doing a decent job of kind of disrupting and annoying Abracadabra.
I mean, Forkhead is properly splaying out there, like floating on water, just spreading their mass, spreading their weight.
There goes the mini-bot wheel, much to the groans and despair of the crowd behind me. Abracadabra now getting a good push and a good lift on Forkhead. Can they carry Forkhead to the pit? Not quite. Good recovery from Forkhead. Pin in the corner.
Pin in the corner. The referee's been non-stop counting this whole fight.
Good lift again, but we're down to our last 5 seconds. We're going to go to time between these two, and our judges are going to have to make a decision between Forkhead and Abracadabra. Great fight between the two. Brilliant control match. In fact, our last position in the round of 32 is up for grabs, and immediately underneath goes Don't Stop Me Now, running a little bit of an asymmetrical fork setup. Of course, they lost a fork in their first fight, and they're running a one single purple wheel as well.
So kind of an axe configuration for Overclock. Now they're actually doing some damage. Little dent to the top of Don't Stop Me Now, whilst Don't Stop Me Now getting the pin.
That is brutal on Overclocks. You know, Thomas now is famed for his axes. He's got, you know, a couple. This is one of them, the other one being percussive maintenance. He always manages to get an inordinate amount of power from them. You know, he always likes to build robots with unusual drive systems.
Well, Don't Stop Me Now is going to look like a golf ball at the end of this fight because of those little indentations. But once again, how do you tally this? The pin from Don't Stop Me Now, but the hit from Overclock.
Every single hit is going to be worth points for the judges. Now, Overclocked as well, running this shuffle setup. So you have to remember, that's a 2 kilo robot fighting a 1.5 kilo robot. And so far, I have to say, Don't Stop Me Now has done a very good job, but that weapon on Overclocked could be crucial.
It could be, but there, Don't Stop Me Now did what it needed to do. It got underneath where it's protected from the hammer blows of Overclocked. So,
hit button activated, that could be crucial as well. Because they've really got the grip and drive advantage. It's just can they get Overclocked down the pit? That's the key.
And that shuffler versus driving power of Don't Stop Me Now is going to be interesting to see. Don't Stop Me Now, I think, is clearly the more powerful of the two robots when it comes to driving. And once again, protected by getting underneath Overclock.
Yeah, all those shots flailing maybe towards the back of the robot, nearly backs itself into the pit, gets away. In underneath Overclock, can they nudge them towards the pit? Not quite. Look at the front armour though of Don't Stop Me Now. Loads of ankle bites on there.
And now Overclocked is stuck on top. Or Don't Stop Me Now thought about driving up to the pit, but they know they can fall in just as easily.
They do, and we're down to our last seconds. We are going to go to time between the two. Good fight between Don't Stop Me Now and Overclock. Yeah, this is our first fight of the round of 32. Our two student robots in the arena. We have Galahad representing the University of Chichester. We have Kurbstop representing Surrey University, and over goes Galahad. And good control once again here from Kurbstop. We've seen it throughout the day. That first fight they were very good. Can they maintain the form? Oh, it's going to be tricky when they get shredded like that. Something's gone flying off. Surrey University in all kinds of trouble. Can they right themselves? We saw it earlier today. A little bit of momentum rocking them backward and forward. Can they do it?
There we go. Big chair. No,
not
chair.
Quite. No, they can't quite manage it. They're trying to get a bit of an angle. That's the end of the fights. They couldn't get back down. Galahad go through. That's a shame for...
Activate.
Away we go. Weapon of... Goodness me, Got Any Grapes is absolutely enormous and could be potentially devastating if they can bring it straight like that. Wow!
Cover your ears if you're close to the arena because that is terrifying. Knocking the GoPro off the
enormous
arena.
impact there on Waveshine. Like I said, if that weapon comes into contact, go on, not the duck! Not the duck!
It's just
it's the roof! Enormous impact, but it turned itself over. It was that impactful.
Tribal Waveshine was out of it there, but they were just waiting for the impact to come.
They were indeed. Weapon to weapon at the moment. They tried to raise a bit better, but that was... Oh,
that's what Waveshine needed to do. That was what Waveshine needed to do.
Oh!
Didn't touch the
I didn't see it. No, carry on. Fight carries on. And Waveshine has stopped. Is that the end of the fight for Waveshine? What an impact that was. Unbelievable. At the moment, I think Got Any Grapes is going to be the winner because...
They're just waiting to see, but the Roboteers are frantically manoeuvring the joysticks and nothing's happening.
No, so Got Any Grapes is still moving. That is the end of the fight. However...
Now Fission is the favourite, but let's see what happens with Whirlpool. Look how scary that is.
Oh, good impact there. I think the wheel guard of Whirlpool is going to be popping in. And there goes the link and the battery, and all the electronics have come out. That's the end of the fight. Fission have won the match. Oh, away we go.
So Killjoy getting up to speed with their drum beat. They're
not
going
the
after
not
the mini
bot.
Come on.
The mini bot. Oh, that's brutal. There's no need for that. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, no. brutal damage.
So the main carcass, the actual Obsidied robot, is not really engaging much. They're unable to move.
Oh, there's no need for that. There's no need.
And is that a lipo exposed?
It is. Obsidied.
Fight call.
Well, look what you've done, Killjoy. Are you proud of yourself? You've paused the fight.
You killed
he is
a
proud of
baby.
himself. Unbelievable.
So that's kind of given Obsidied a little opportunity to maybe work out what's gone wrong with their robot. They're unable to do any repairs because this is just a pause. This isn't a stop.
That's true.
But, you know, they might have the opportunity. They might tap out, actually, if they don't think they can continue. Maybe something stuck underneath it.
Absolutely. Well, there's the mini-bot. I hope you're happy, Killjoy.
I mean, by name.
Yeah.
By name, Killjoy, ruining the fun of Obsidied there.
There's a great comment on the YouTube live stream. Take your child to work day goes horribly wrong. That is brutal.
Henry, are you happy?
Shout out to Clemming UK. That's brilliant.
I mean, another category there, best YouTube comment. We're racking them up.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that throughout the day.
I mean, that one does trump when Fang was in the arena and lost his wall, been defanged. That unfortunately has been trumped now by that comment.
Well, we've still got Obsidied kind of half circling in the arena.
3, 2.
Killjoy back in its starting square.
1 minute 32 left of the fight. Killjoy coming back out and
weapon to weapon hits. The weapon of Obsidied has stopped. Killjoy comes back on the attack.
And I think Killjoy is just really going to punish.
Oh, and there goes the wheel protection, and it's a high centre as well. Tap out from Obsidied, and Obsidied has Obsidied. That's the end of that.
Dangerous, definitely robot. Ray is incredibly quick and has a shield that might add.
Oh, enormous impact from Wayo, but a good response from Ray. It survived, but the front is all bent and buckled. We've lost the arena camera, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what I was trying to say is Ray has the perfect shield to go up against Wayo, but the arena camera has gone. The shield is gone. The shield is gone from Ray.
Goodness me. Ray is out of the arena! Wayo! Away we go. Good box rush there from Strongerhold. You can hear the Colt weapon grinding away and shredding the wheels and all kinds of things coming off the bottom of Speedhole Express. But the weapon of Colt stops back at speed. You can hear it humming, grinding away the 3D printed plastic of Speedhole Express. I think the drill has been snapped. They brought the weapon into play and hit the weapon of Colt, and that is the end of that. Picks that available to Speedhole's credit. They're still in the fight and doing a decent job of staying in the match, but slowly but surely that damage is accruing from Colt. Oh, and there goes the wheel gun, and there goes some more wiring, and that's the end of that, I think. Colt has disemboweled poor old Speedhole Express. Colt brutally efficient, and they will progress through to the round of 16. Henry, you were a ref today. What do you think of that?
Oh, I mean, that was the
Out of the competition. And a lovely flip to start from Boom Zoom. Bit of a self-right from Burnout, but he is trapped against the wall and giving us a little flappy wave right now.
And this is textbook Boom Zoom.
I mean, the judges are going to love that flappy wave. But, oh, is that some assistance? That is. That's some very honourable sportsmanship there from Boom Zoom.
I must say, Boom Zoom, the bigger of the two robots, and yet has the weight for a mini-bot. Burnout is so small.
Yeah, Burnout is dainty, but it's dense. It's full of metal.
Full of metal and hopes and dreams of Jevon.
But it is back in the fight, most importantly. This fight is continuing. We want to see Burnout do some flips too. Lovely self-writing. That's good. Burnout used to not be able to do that so well. It's definitely improved for this contest. But Boom Zoom so far kind of dominating this fight. With the old forks and flaps. Lovely flappy motion, almost out, and out it goes. There we go. A lovely out of the arena there.
From their match to get to this stage, Monterey Jack through the play-ins and immediately Icebreaker coming weapon to weapon and shredding Monterey Jack, and another impact, and again Monterey Jack, the connection at the back to the lifter arms has been severed.
And the wheels are too high up.
They're high centered. Icebreaker has the fight won, and they absolutely leave their opponent there as they should. Clinical.
Activate.
Away we go. Sore Loser through the air. Miura's weapon up to speed. Sore Loser will try and pin Miura against the arena wall like that and bring the weapon into play. Doesn't get it, and it's flung through the air once and twice by Miura. Sore Loser rights itself, gets back down on its wheels.
So Sore Loser struggling to really control that weapon at the moment. It's kind of fighting themselves.
Yeah.
And Miura's just running around them, taking advantage.
Oh,
and that's a massive hit.
Yeah, there goes one of the wedgelets on the front of Miura. It happened in the first fight, of course, against Schism, a similar-ish robot to Sore Loser.
Enable.
Down comes the weapon of Sore Loser on top. That's what they want to do.
So finally, I think that's finally getting the first hit with
and
their
Miura
swinging
now
blade.
upside down. That's also going to affect him. And that weapon is slowing down as well on Miura. That's not good. They're going to try and get it back up to speed. But Sore Loser will try and bring their own weapon into play.
But I think Sore Loser is actually struggling with one half of their robot.
Yeah,
their wheels are not turning. They are pivoting on the spot, and now they're using the saw blade and those wheels to kind of maneuver themselves around. They've got themselves in the centre of the arena.
Using the gyro procession to try and move forward and backward properly. Miura trying to rise himself using the arena walls, not managing to do so currently. I'm sure that'll go down well with the BBB boys hitting their arena walls.
Well, and it's quite a desperate move as well, because that actually could do a lot of damage to themselves, as we're seeing little bits of orange plastic fly off.
All the force that weapon has to input into the wall is all going back into it as well. Hits Sore Loser, it doesn't get back on its wheels properly. They're going to try and do it again, and now does. So now Miura is in the prime position to do that. Hit Sore Loser and try and cause more damage. Over goes Sore Loser, back on its wheels. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
So not long left of this fight now. Sore Loser, I feel like needing to get a little bit more damage here. And now again, Miura once again running themselves over.
Yep.
But can they get that gyro effect? They're not quite teetering on the edge. They can do it. The 5-second countdown.
Sore Loser needs to do something and quick, I think, to win the fight, but they didn't really manage it there. We are going to get a time between the two, both limping towards the end. And it'll go to the judges. They really do to WheelyBigLad. Obviously, it's a big and awkward design, and they can bring that weapon into play whenever they want to cause damage. Prototype, you see, look, they're a bit nervous to go through the middle like that, because how do you really hit it?
I think for Prototype, this is a dodging game. We've got the clock of the pit counting down for 30 seconds. They can do a little bit of annoyance with WheelyBigLad, just unsettle the robot, get them flailing a little bit. If they can get them over to the Outer Zone, WheelyBigLad does have a tendency to dip a wheel into the Outer Zone.
And as soon as you touch the floor of Outer Zone, you are out. It is basically the floor is lava.
And let's not forget, WheelyBigLad was out in the pits in one of the earlier rounds, so they've already been down in the pit.
That was a good attack though by WheelyBigLad, came into contact on top of Prototype. And another good hit, there's a bit of top arm has been removed. Alex Shakespeare controlling WheelyBigLad wheel.
Prototype looks like he's got two limp arms on the sides of it at the moment, and WheelyBigLad getting close. We mentioned it, they've been in the pits before, they're not precarious enough.
Prototype is a very good control, but as I said, they finished second in the Battle of the Bird competition in Scotland in December last year. They're doing a very good job here of dealing with an awkward beast in WheelyBigLad. WheelyBigLad almost down the pit, but holds on for dear life. Good attack again, almost down the pit. Prototype, this is a really good driving match from the two of them.
So Prototype, definitely the nippier, the quickier, but wow, that was close. It did not care.
Great impact there. There goes the side armour of Prototype. WheelyBigLad, as the fight goes on, is starting to accrue the damage.
But importantly, Prototype's drive is still unimpacted. They've got full control of their robot, and they're pushing WheelyBigLad over to the pits. That's their game plan right now.
One more shot on that side though, and it could be curtains because they are now got that wheel exposed. They've lost the top armour as well. Big impact, and WheelyBigLad! Wow! With a mouthful of apples. Away we go. Jackhammer, that big weapon we saw it earlier on. We didn't really get to see it bring into full blows, but hopefully we will in this fight. Data breach, good start though.
You didn't have to out me like that, but yes, data breach doing what it needs to do, keeping that weapon at arm's length, and once again trying to put the weapon up to the wall. Jackhammer with a miss.
Knocking on the door of the arena. No, thank you. You're not welcome here.
Yep, stay inside the arena, please. And once again, data breach taking Jackhammer over to the Outer Zone. I think that's their early game plan.
Absolutely good lift and tactics early on here for Data, and another good lift. Over goes Jackhammer. Jackhammer has also lost a fork from the front. That will hamper their ability to get in underneath, and something's come spraying out the back of
It almost looks like
Good attack though there. Sorry, it's been shredded the top.
it almost looks like Jackhammer's doing damage to itself somehow. The way it's seemingly falling apart at the moment. Those impacts are too heavy.
So look at that, they've ripped away one of the drive belts there of Data Breach. It's not able to use all 6 wheels drive anymore, and they've been lifted on their side. Oh! Early celebration from Jackhammer. Don't get too excited.
They're going to get punished for that as we enter the second half of this fight. And Jackhammer, swing and a miss, absolutely nowhere close to Data Breach.
Is it controlled movement? I don't think so. It is movement, I guess. Data Breach still trying to translate, but not able to. Now they're high
Data
centered.
Breach is stuck.
Oh,
Data
look
Breach
at-
got stuck for a moment there. I was watching the wheel spinning and not moving anywhere, so it is struggling. These two robots are heavily immobilized, and they're just slowly trying to make their way closer to each other.
They're both kind of drifting slowly towards one another. Down comes the weapon. Any moment from Jackhammer? No.
No, didn't fancy it, didn't want to take the hit. As we go into the final seconds of this fight, there's not much left that they can do, and I don't think they're too far apart now. I think they're going to struggle to get closer now.
Yeah, I think we're going to go to time
7,
between the two.
6,
Jackhammer,
5,
obviously
4,
erratic and damaging,
3,
chaotic, and has that weapon. A final lasting impact, maybe a good impact at the end. Data Breach, maybe the more winner. Will that trend continue as Grey Area fights Exposure? Good start from Grey Area. The 4-bar vertical spinner. Up and over goes Grey Area, the good attack by Exposure. Can they right itself? Yes, it can.
I think Grey Area is
But
quite
Exposure
deceptive.
is stuck under the pit button.
That's a rarity. We haven't seen that one before.
Exposure trying to get away from the pit, but they can't. Exposure and Grey Area having a little conversation, the two drivers, and good sportsmanship there from Grey Area continuing the fight. They did ask if they wanted to.
But they did let the clock count down a little bit, so that will go heavily in their favour as it goes to the judges. But now they're pinned up against the wall by Exposure.
Important thing to note as well, because they were the aggressor there, they were the ones who released them to get more attacks off, and that's a good impact. And again,
So that is Saw Blade into Saw Blade right there.
and
Grey
over
Area
goes
tactical.
Exposure. Grey Area's weapon has stopped, as has Exposure's. Is that a tactical thing, I wonder?
And there's another right there by Grey Area. So they just really want this fight to continue because I think Exposure would have struggled to continue.
I think both robots have now lost their weapons, and that's a little bit of an issue.
But Grey Area
The
still
pit,
has
the
the
crowd
ability to nudge forward.
The crowd are baying for the pits. They're going to get their wish? No, not just yet.
Darting around it as not long is left. We're in the second half of this fight already, and Grey Area now once again just pecking, just pecking away at Exposure,
Nibbling away. It's aggressive petting if nothing else.
managing to get underneath though and lifting up Exposure. So you know they're getting some weapon effectiveness there, I imagine.
It's just very novel, isn't it? The little 4-bar is kind of rolling along the top. Exposure still in contention at the moment. Grey Area, I think, the superior ground game and a good push again there on Exposure into the corner.
It's like when your sibling's poking you in the arm, isn't it? It's just a non-stop annoyance, not really doing any damage.
That's a good pin as well. Exposure stuck in
9,
the corner.
8,
Grey Area
7,
have got them stuck.
6.
We're counting
5,
down to
4,
to time.
3, 2.
Is that also the end of the
1.
fight, I wonder?
Seize.
Well, we go to time. They did make it.
Activate.
Away we go. Good attack there from Schism from the start. Everest has that enormous weapon at the front and is stopped. And down comes the
immobilised.
weapon, and it's immobilised.
Immobilise. The Roboteers dropped their controller.
And Schism has put the weapon into Everest. Can it let go? I think the fight is over because we're going to get a tap out now from Everest. So Schism progresses through. That was a very quick fight.
Activate.
Away we go.
So Strongerhold, the nippier of the two, flying out of their corner.
Good lift, though,
and
by
immediately
Inversion.
been put on the side.
Can they get him out of the arena? Not on this occasion. Good lift again, though, by Inversion.
So Inversion kind of controlling Strongerhold at that point there. They were stopping them from really getting back on their feet, but now we can see Strongerhold darting around.
So far, so good for Inversion. They have been, I say, a little bit unlucky in that first fight to be drawn up against a devastating destroyer of worlds and Cult, but since then have been a
Pit
very effective
enabled.
robot in the arena. It's not too. It's not. Oh, that's a great
So
suplex.
close to the Uta zone
And a great
as well.
suplex as well. It's been a very well controlled. You know, Will Thomas has driven robots at every single weight class in the country. You know, he's been winning fights at Extreme Robots, won fights at Robot Wars as a top 4 finisher at Robot Wars. He knows his stuff. An Inversion, you know, it looks deceptively simple, but it is very, very effective in the arena when it can get a good grapple hold in the fight like it is doing here.
And right now, yeah,
Great
very
lift
much.
and a great suplex.
Brilliant suplex. And into the
lift.
pit.
Oh, brilliant. Unbelievable driving. Will top.
It can entangle itself almost in Stratus's long wheels. But Forkhead going straight into the side of Stratus. And now we're starting to see some damage be done. Stratus's weapon is up to speed.
There goes a drive belt, and I think the wheel has
Yeah, you can see the wheel up against the arena floor there.
There goes
Stratus just going to town now. Forkhead desperately trying to get to the side, to the outer zone, but not quite.
Great push there by Forkhead. Of course, don't forget, if any part of Stratus touches the outer zone, they are out of it, but they are shredding the Forkhead weapon as we speak. All that damage will just accrue over the course of the fight. It's going to be a tough ask, I think, from here for Forkhead. It has touched the floor, though. Did it touch the floor?
Well, I'm not too sure because the wheels, the notches, I don't think they're deep enough.
Hang on, we are pausing the fight we're going to get it to VAR. I know it's a dangerous option, I know, but we are going to do it.
Was that a VAR?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Bear with us.
So I'm just gonna talk over this. I've asked the audience last time. Audience, do you think it's out? Okay, it's a lot of no's. I'm not sure because I'm looking at the wheels. The notches of the wheels don't look deep enough.
After reviewing the footage, the wheel did not touch the floor. So we will continue from here with 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock. Stratus, a nervy scare, sweaty palms for Tom Brewster.
Roboteers, grab your robots, grab your controllers.
Whatever you do, not right now. Here we go then. Stratus, maybe in the ascendancy. Forkhead doing very well though, to stay competitive in the fight.
So competitive in the fight, yes, but look at poor Forkhead. They are strewn all over the place. That robot is falling apart, and Stratus.
Great driving though by Forkhead. Can they maybe dump Stratus down a bit? They're locked in to that kind of. Oh, they split the pontoon now. It's all looking a little bit ropey. The weapon's completely gone. Forkhead have been discombobulated. Have been shredded. Poor old.
But they're
Forkhead still going.
Oh my goodness! They're taking the punishment. They can take it. Stratus cannot get
I think that could be that. It's still going. It's still going, Forkhead. It's still going.
The audience are cheering Forkhead on.
It's still moving. Can it survive? They're trying to push Stratus out. Can they do it? They're lifting, not quite. 25 seconds remaining, and Forkhead is in absolute pieces. And I think that could be that. Forkhead, the wheel is off the floor. It is completely destroyed. What a performance.
A round of applause
by Forkhead. That's what we love to see.
Activate.
Away we go.
And don't stop me now, they're being very cautious. I think they were more focused on ensuring that platoon went into the Beetle.
Feed the weapon, feed the wedge into the weapon. That's a good attack there, and a nice attempt trying to. They aren't very good at trying to get it fed into the weapon, but Contradiction, not having any of it. There you go, that's what they want to do, try and get in underneath like that. But at the moment, the issue they're having is it's a little bit too flimsy. Oh, something's flying off.
So
that's the link.
Oh, the link!
And that is the end of the fight. The removal link has made the robot safe. Safe robot's no good in there. Immobilized. Don't Stop Me Now has been stopped.
Cheers for
oh dear.
Activate.
Will they waddle away for the very next day?
I'm going to stop you there because the fight has now begun. And that's Galahad going up into the air. Got to the Graves getting the first exchange.
Oh my goodness, it's down the arena! Great.
And the fight begins.
Away we go, both up and get the speed, and initial advantage goes to Fission, and the link has been sniped. That's the end of that. Killjoy eliminated. Fission through to our uni bracket final. Out go Kill.
Activate.
Away we go.
And are they willingly letting their weapons get up to speed?
Oh, that's a gear from Colt. Oh dear. Colt has stopped. Wayo is still moving, and that is that. The end. A good match here. Away we go. Good box rush from Boom Zoom straight out the traps. In underneath goes the mini bot on Icebreaker in underneath and causing it all kinds of issues. Good work here from mini bot driver Andy Davies, and a good lift from Boom Zoom.
And getting that weapon of Icebreaker into the floor. They need to take the momentum away from that weapon because it is going to do incredible damage if it hits one of their robots.
Good work again from the mini bot here. Andy doing a nice job of keeping Icebreaker away from the main robot, but through the air goes Boom Zoom. They need to right themselves quickly and do so. Good driving from Boomzoom, keeping it under pressure. Icebreaker.
So using that lifting arm, Boomzoom, to great effect, and now we're seeing a pinch between both robots working together. Icebreaker, I think, is on the back foot here. They need to start doing some damage.
Boomzoom is trying hugely well, lifting Icebreaker up and over. Pitbun has been activated. Pitbun has not gone down, just so now.
Yeah, of course it has that momentary pause just so it gives the warning. And
Oh no! Driving error from Boomzoom! And Adam. Red and Miura in the blue. Away we go.
Away we go, and Prototype darting around, as we've seen from these two robots, actually quite quick, the pair of them. But Miura not quite getting their weapon engaged, and Prototype once again going underneath.
That's not what Miura would have wanted. Turned upside down, of course their weapon is less effective that way up. They can still cause damage, but of course they're spinning down into the robot rather than using the floor as kind of like a balance kind of bring the weapon through.
I think that's going to work to their favour because the scoot of Prototype is so low down, they're not really getting underneath Prototype for their weapon to do damage. No. Whereas this way round, as Prototype goes underneath, they can get those little hits in.
So far, Prototype looking nice and chilled and controlled. This is how they did in Berg as well. They kind of took their time, very kind of patient and waiting took their spots. They're doing very well here with Miura and doing the same thing. Miura caught by the pit. They couldn't quite get away.
Pit.
Well,
Pit.
Not going to take it.
Come on, Prototype. Come on, Prototype.
Take the win. I understand it. Prototype control lifter of Data Breach repaired from its fight early on with Jackhammer. Good lift at the start.
So both of them missing that initial engagement, but Data Breach looking a little bit stuck and on the back foot now as Grey Areas tries to take advantage.
And a drive belt has gone on Data Breach as well. Grey Area has sniped that, so they will no longer have the 6-wheel drive. Look at that, nice little few sparks.
Cheeky little bit of metal on metal. We always
good
love
lift
to see
though by
sparks.
Data Breach. Look at that, they've grabbed the fork at the front. Good attempt from Data Breach to try and control their opponents. Pit button is now available. Data Breach goes for the pit button, doesn't get it, and grinds to a halt for now.
And now we're seeing Grey Area, I think, try and get that other drive belt because that will immobilise Data Breach if they manage to hit it.
Certainly hamper its drive capabilities. I think they still will be able to drive, but it won't have the 6-wheel drive it had at the start of the fight. It will have to get out to 2. Good lift from Data Breach, getting a clamp on, but
Grey Area not quite close enough to get that spinning disc into effect. Data Breach pinned into the corner, Grey Area underneath, trying to get that blade to do some damage.
The underarm. That was a brutal impact. I've not seen that today from Grey Area.
No, but that was actually against the arena wall, so that was doing not much damage to Data Breach, so they got away lightly there.
Good control from Data Breach again, trying to get a good lift in, hit the pit button now. Data Breach still very much in this fight. They do have a drive limitation with their drive belt gone, but Data Breach doing really well there, look, using the fork to kind of lever Grey Area up, but another good attack from Grey Area, bringing that weapon into play.
And that's another drive belt gone.
Yeah, it's been snapped, so we're down to 3-wheel drive now on Data Breach, and they're shredding Data Breach. A good pin from Grey Area, pushing Data Breach back into the corner. Look at the top armor, it's all shredded and peeled up.
And we can see now that the wheels are stuck, but that's a great lift.
Good attempt from Data Breach, but they're stuck. We're going to wait. That's our last few seconds. We're going to head to time unless something majorly changes. Upside down goes Grey Area and Data Breach. Data Breach stuck against the arena wall. We go to a full 2-minute fight.
Activate.
Away we go.
So we're not seeing that spinning. Oh, no, never mind. We weren't seeing the spinning jackhammer of Schism, but it is now engaged. Lovely pin there, but they're not getting the weapon firing up.
They don't want to spin up just yet and miss an opportunity. Now they have got the weapon spun up to speed. Can they bring it into play? They've pinned Inversion. Look at that. They've got the wheel stuck over the kicker at the bottom of the arena there. Good lift from Inversion. The forks underneath Schism as well. Good lift. Inversion. It is deceptively simple, but it is effective. And Will is such a good driver. He's able to utilise Inversion, which isn't, the most flashy robot in the field, but it is so good.
I don't think I've seen Schism this tentative before in a fight. No. They are really not using that saw blade. They're not using the hammer. This is a pushing fight.
Yeah, Tweedy is being very, very patient. Rightly so. You can't win it with one shot all the time, but you can lose it potentially. So far, good push by Tweedy. Can they bring the weapon into play now? It's a good attack. Misses. Maybe this time.
Not quite close enough, I don't think. The arm is not long enough to get that saw blade into
There we go, that's a good pin. That's what you want to see. Oh, good attack. Good
So-
reversal there from...
Inversion, they're using their weapon to deflect.
Brilliant
That is
driving.
brilliant driving. And great defensive driving. We're now seeing Schism start to really up the aggression.
and they've just jammed their fork behind the pit button, and that is no good. Oh, gets away with it.
Yeah, the hammer blow, that's enough force for them to get unstuck. So they're back in the fight once again with another good pin. And, well, we've seen
And it
this
happened
before.
again. And a good push for inversion. Can they get... Oh, Schism almost drive down the pit, and they do! Jack Tweedy down the pits. A bit gutted. Stratus is longer the other way, and I think that is going to be the crucial factor here. Look at that immediate impact. Contradiction gets battered away from the start. Oh, and another big impact, and there goes a wheel. And all kinds of devastation to Contradiction. They are down one side of drive. That is going to hamper them massively.
So that proved me wrong instantly there. Stratus clearly close enough to get to
And the base
Contradiction.
plate ripped away. I think that is the end of the fight because all the components are available to be gotten. Activate. Wayo and Got Any Grapes up to speed, both spinning at maximum.
They really are going maximum. So Got Any Grapes holding their
Oh,
ground.
not the duck! Not the duck!
And Got Any Grapes coming
Oh,
into
big
the
impact.
fence. But they're landing on their feet. So Got Any Grapes is still in this. As
Wayo goes Got Any Grapes and hits the floor. Wayo hits the wall as well. Both robots still in it. That is a bit of a surprise to me. So not the one and done fight we had last time with Wayo. Big impact there. Got Any Grapes goes flying. Wayo still in.
So great control by Got Any Grapes. They managed to pick it that distance.
Oh,
They
is that the
Wayo.
weapon belt? I think it might be a Got Any Grapes. The weapon is slowing down. And Got Any Grapes is now weaponless, and Wayo can just go free ham and just attack Got Any Grapes. Willy-nilly, no threats. And I think that is the end of that. And Got Any Grapes is tapped out. No one.
In the blue, and I'm expecting Prototype to charge over
Great
as
attack.
they do.
And the ground game is in the favour of Prototype. That surprises me. Good lift up as well. Over goes Icebreaker.
And using Icebreaker's weapon against them there because they're doing damage to themselves, throwing themselves across the arena.
Very, very low to the floor, Prototype. They must have sharpened that extra specially. They did. There's a nod of the heads.
And we're seeing the gyration effect of Icebreaker here. They're trying to keep both their wheels on the floor.
Good attack again by Prototype. Into the arena wall. Getting the poly. Good driving again from Prototype. Keeping. Oh, big impact there on the kicker of the arena.
30 seconds have gone of this fight, and I would say Prototype's been the controlling robot out of the
Well,
two.
we haven't seen a big hit yet from Icebreaker. Has they? Not a chance. That was a good attack. And maybe now a chance? No. Prototype once again beautifully controlled, staying out of trouble, but they are taking a few more risks as the fight goes on.
So Icebreaker there is trying to get to the side of Prototype because when they get to the side they can get under, they can get in, and they can start doing damage to the shield. But Prototype controlling this brilliantly. Another lift.
Front to front, there is only one winner in this fight so far, and that is Prototype, and they're trying to pin Icebreaker in the corner. Hold them there, maybe run down the clock. Is the Icebreaker weapon okay?
So they got a 10-second count there where the referee's calling it, but they have to release. And
is
once
okay.
again, they're into the other corner.
Another good push again from Prototype, brilliantly controlled, and once again just taking their time, picking their shots. An Icebreaker here, they need to turn the tide of the fight. We've got 30 seconds left, and so far it's been a complete clinic from Prototype.
So we're seeing that control come through. Prototype now, I think, frantically darting into
That's a
Prototype.
bad move. Icebreaker got round the back. That could have been an opportunity, but didn't necessarily take full advantage. 20 seconds remaining between the two. Icebreaker still can't get underneath. It's a key to their weapon being effective. Over goes Prototype. Gets back up on its wheels. Down to our last few seconds. Pit button activated. But Prototype stuck in the corner and out of the arena! Wowee! 2 seconds on the clock. All the way from Scotland, and a great box rush immediately from grey area. The 4-bar spinner goes straight in on the attack, and I think for a second the weapon of Fission wasn't working, but it is still happy.
No, but we've got weapon against weapon action going on here, hence the sparks are flying. Fission is the last university team in this competition, so they're going to be trying to fly the flag, trying to stay in. The grey area has been fantastic.
Oh, but the weapon of
they
Fission.
stuck?
Oh dear, that is a I thought for a second they were in all kinds of trouble, but I think actually it's the wheels that have locked. Look, on grey area.
So I don't know if that's a drive belt or no, they're gears. They don't have drive belts. So Well, that's interesting. Something's jammed.
Yeah, something's not happy inside of grey area, so they've lost one side of drive. Fission's weapon not happy either. It's not really spinning up through the gears like we saw earlier on in the competition.
No, I think we can hear the motor is spinning up fiercely, but it's not translating to the actual weapon. So we can hear the motor spinning, but it's not really engaging fully with the motor. And those forks of grey area are keeping them at arm's length.
They are indeed. So both of these two not exactly happy in the arena. Good attack though by grey area, trying to get that weapon into contact with the front plows of Fission. Fission goes for the pit button. Grey area, get away from there.
So we haven't got long, and they
Oh.
just gets away. Grey area only
Pit
just
is activated.
escaping.
Crowd pays for the pit, they want it.
But Fission is on the right side. Grey area is stuck. Both roboteers pivoting.
Oh my goodness! They got a little bit greedy, I think, Fission. And
There's going to be a lot of shoving. Let's see how Stratus.
look at that, there you go. Just completely bodied Stratus. Oh, that's a good impact. So they usually try and get it overdone with quickly. They've done it! He's done it! Unbelievable. Activate. Away we go. Icebreaker gets the back thrust, but mistimes the attack. Wayo now up to speed and hits Icebreaker once and twice and 3 times.
And that shield, that ground from Icebreaker that we mentioned,
We saw
that
there.
is now teared up.
It was disrupting it a little bit, but not. It's now restabilized itself, and that wedge is getting torn up. Wayo is looking to fierce the robot. They're leaving. And wheels come off of Icebreaker, and Icebreaker now down to 1 wheel. Wayo looking fiercer in the arena.
So still going.
Oh my goodness me! Enormous damage.
Flying around the arena, bouncing off.
But Wayo's weapon has now stopped. Wayo has lost its spinning weapon. Icebreaker is still running. We've also lost the camera in the arena. Icebreaker's weapon is still functional, but only has 1-wheel drive.
So Icebreaker down the wheel, Wayo down the weapon.
And Wayo has
are
stopped
they
completely.
effective?
Wayo has magnetised itself to the floor. Icebreaker still moving. Wayo being counted out. 3 seconds to get going.
2,
Wayo got
1.
nothing. Wayo beaten. Icebreaker the winner.
Activate.
Away we go. Up to speed immediately is the weapon of grey area and comes into contact with Inversion. Inversion trying to get that lifter maybe clutched into the forks and does so. And immediately stuck together.
So now we're seeing the pirouette dance and immediately untangling but going straight back in is grey area.
Good push again by grey area trying to nibble away at that front end of Inversion. Inversion, good lift and a good suplex over the top. A good response in turn by grey area.
And a lot of black plastic there has just covered the arena
I
floor.
think it's
Not quite
Tyre.
sure which robot
I
it's
think
from.
Fire from Inversion shredded a little bit on that one-hand side, and now off comes a fork of Inversion. That's going to limit the effectiveness of their lifter, and they're bailing for the pits.
We've seen grey area do this before, surgically take away parts of their
The
competitor.
crowd want the pits. Will they get their wish? Good push from grey area. They pinned themselves on the pits. Rescued though by Inversion. They didn't need to do that. Good push back by grey area on the attack again. Slicing and dicing, and Inversion almost down the pit. Push back and in the pits. Inversion. They've done some activate. Away we go. Wayo spins up. Good impact there. It's not the same sort of killing speed we saw earlier from Wayo though, is it?
Not really, and
Now it
Inversion is struggling. They don't have the weight, so they are being flung around.
Oh, there goes the grabbing arm.
And I think I see a motor as well out of there, and I think
And that's
Inversion's
that.
done.
Wayo has done it. The pit is, they're calling for the pit. They've got to. Come on, team, you got to do it. No, that's it. Wayo comes third today. Activate. Away we go. Box rush from the two, but grey area gets to the side and a good impact there. Up, sparks fly. Icebreaker gets in underneath and turns grey area over. Grey area gets hit again. Icebreaker on the attack.
So grey area, a terrible start for them. This is not where they want to be. Icebreaker capitalising, and I think the arm of grey area has come loose.
Still working though, grey area. They're doing all right to stay in the fight, but the wheels are shredded. Icebreaker keeping the pressure on. Now grey area back on their wheels and fighting back.
But
Great response.
I cannot see grey area still spinning.
Pit is
I think
available
they're out.
for both of them, but they don't want to press it. Now they hit the pit button. Grey area needs to get away from there. They do. They don't want to go the same way as Prototype. Grey area fighting back really well.
So grey area without their spinner, Icebreaker with their spinner. It's a pushing match for grey area, and the pit is in play with 1 minute 10 seconds
Remember
left.
that fight early on with Prototype. They don't want to get caught by the arena Uta zone. They get away with it.
And the forks of grey area staving them a bit
Almost
there.
bouncing out though is Icebreaker there. They respond well. Good impact again. Grey Area respond. They're stuck against the arena wall. Good impact there from Grey Area, pinning Icebreaker in.
So they're using their arm now as a pincing device. They do not have a spinner. They are very much at a disadvantage.
They've
and that's
also lost the wheel
gone.
as well. There it goes on the floor. So they're down to 3-wheel drive. Can Grey Area get away? No, they can't. Icebreaker is the winner.
Activate.
Not often. It's a lot of extra. There's a lot of downsides to doing that. But that's what I love about John Luke and his robots. He committed so much to the shape of a bat that that's why his weapon was flying off all morning, and now he is weaponless. So
Well, we say that, but he's just turned
Sorry.
the robot into a spinner
Yes.
by flying around. So it does still have some tricks up its sleeve as Sir Lancerfrog and El Tiburon are battling away. Good lift there by Sir Lancerfrog, but Fang running away.
that is good. Yeah, that's just like it happens in
Enable.
nature. If you watch a bat in a cave,
Descending.
when it sees
Descending.
something scary,
I've never seen a frog in a bat go head to head, but here we are.
it's a witch's brew in the arena right now.
Not sure what animal we can attribute El Tiburon to be, but
It's
Fang and
zombie.
Sir Lancerfrog really fighting away each other. El Tiburon just enjoying its own time in the arena. What are they doing? Get in the fight.
I'm proud of my students for putting more tape on their robots than others. I think that shows good engineering skills.
Classic engineering. If you can't fix it with duct tape. Oh no!
There we go. A very strong win from the frog there.
Activate.
And this might be a slightly more explosive battle as Camilla does have that spinning weapon, but everyone's so far staying away as they're slowly shuffling over Monterey Jack, the first to take the hit. And that's a brilliant lift there by Overclocked. They are stuck within Monterey Jack. I'm not sure if they'll be able to unstick. Lilith comes in and actually separates them. Great work there. But Monterey Jack currently stuck. They're trying to self-right. I'm not sure if they can. The pit button has been hit. And I think we're going to see a timeout there for Monterey Jack. But Lilith now fully taking control of Overclock.
Pitch descending. Pitch descending.
And there Lilith throwing Camilla up into the corner, doing a fantastic job to control this. I think Monterey Jack is out as we're all into the Uta zone. And is something caught on Overclock? Not quite. Oh, Lilith so close to going into the pit. And now Overclock comes in with their axe. They are unhappy with Lilith. Doing a fantastic job there. I think Camilla is actually out of it, so this is now a 2-robot fight. And come on, we want to see one robot going into the pit. 40 seconds left between Lilith and Overclock, dancing around each other, but Overclock's actually got some fantastic hits in here. And I'm not sure if Lilith has anything to respond. They are trying to position themselves for a great charge. They want Overclocked into the pit. Overclocked is coming down with their hammer, and we're getting closer, but not close enough. So Lilith having to think, trying to coach Overclocked into the pit.
8,
10 seconds left
7,
of the fight. Lilith is
6,
positioned where it needs to be. Can it
4,
charge? Has it
3,
got the driving force?
2,
No, it does not.
Seize.
In the green,
Activate.
Cormoran in the red, and mild Perillelogram coming from the pit, or the yellow square.
Permanent grab now by Corman on Abracadabra.
Abracadabra and mild Perillelogram go weapon to weapon, and a good lift by Abracadabra.
Lovely tilt towards the Uta zone.
Curb stomp in there as well. The uni entry.
Kurbstop biting down on the...
Surrey Uni's
Spinning
curb
the
stomp,
arm.
everyone. Has been an absolute joy to watch. They basically built it over the last week or so to put it fully together. They went from a fully clear plastic polycarb armour to this, the kind of alley
Enabled.
skin they've got now, and it is an absolute joy to watch in the arena. For a first time uni entry, very, very good effort.
Very nice indeed.
Abracadabra trying to lift them though, and they're pinned. Over it goes. Oh no, they've been pushed against the arena wall once again. Is that the end?
Leverage to get over? Will they be stuck?
Cormoran radically changed shape into the kind of weird grabbing arm setup. Mild Perillelogram in there as well, zipping around quite nicely. Good control there, pushing in on.
Looks a bit lost upside down there, doesn't it?
What?
Looks a bit lost upside
Yeah,
down.
just a little bit. Oh, Mild Perillelogram! They got lost in the pits. That's
Lost
a shame for
in the
them.
Source.
They were lost in the source. Down the pit goes
and another one.
Oh my goodness!
And another one.
Well, we're down to 2. There's no count outs.
Abra is just
Abracadabra putting on an absolute clinic. Kurbstop lifted onto its side. Kurbstop back on its wheels. Good driving and good sportsmanship there from Becca.
Lovely stuff.
And a good push again from Abracadabra. They're all in the pits. Abracadabra showing what it absolutely can do.
Activate.
And they're away, all spinning up nicely.
Oh my goodness.
Big clatter there.
Everest can actually reach the main body of WheelyBigLad, so Shaker will have to be careful not to get caught out by that. Of course, if you remember earlier, oh well, they can't like that. Antimatter, can they get back on their feet? I think the robot actually has been deactivated as well. That's a shame. If you remember back, Antimatter did fight WheelyBigLad, but I don't think they're going to be fighting them anymore. Stuck on their side, WheelyBigLad caught in the corner there with Chucky. Gets away from the corner. The house alarm's still going off outside in case anyone's wondering. WheelyBigLad. Does Shaky know what it's doing? Do we know what it's doing? Does it know what it's doing? It's going on. The arena is where it's going. And Chucky
Descending.
securing the victory.
Clinical performance.
And as I said, didn't need the spinner.
Didn't even need it.
Did not need the spinner.
Activate.
Away we go. Ray charging over towards Spins and Needles. Burnout and Speedhole Express go head to head in the centre of the arena.
And they're pirouetting around each other. Burnout not wanting to be on the receiving end of a speedy hole.
No. Ray and Spins and Needles, good lift there by Burnout. Down comes the weapon once again. Burnout manoeuvres to the side of Speedhole Express. Can he get underneath? Nope, not quite. Ray, good lift there from Burnout. Good push from Burnout as well. Over goes Speedhole Express.
But Speedhole getting stuck on the fork of Burnout. And now we're seeing Spins and Needles get up to speed, but actually, no, they back out of it because they were losing control.
Good push from Burnout. Speedhole Express trying to get that drill into play. Now we could see it. Down comes the drill. Missed it slightly.
Missing, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Burnout and Ray going head to head. Roboteer Gareth just having to get the pit down. Ray ever closer, and we're getting the pit chance from the
Almost
audience.
a bit of friendly fire there from They Then Mayhem. In goes Ray once again in underneath. Spins and Needles, Burnout in there too, trying to get that lifter into play. Doesn't quite manage to get fully underneath. Now gets under Ray.
And we still got all 4 robots engaged, so they do have to be cautious, tripping over each other. Ray and Burnout pirouetting around. Ray is stuck.
I do think Spins and Needles have lost their side of drive once again. The weapon is back at the feet, but the drive isn't. They've spat out a wheel. Down comes the drill on Burnout. Didn't cause that much damage, I don't think. Good. I mean, it's eating one of the pontoons. Ray flirting with the pit. Don't do that.
The audience are bloodlust for the pit. They want to see anyone and everyone fall down there. So we're slowly seeing Spins and Needles
Good push
get
from
closer.
Burnout, but Burnout have got greedy. Ray, Burnout down the pit as well. We're down to 2.
Like a London bus, you wait for 1, 2 come in short succession, and now Ray.
Here we go. Down comes the Speedhole Express, and we're going to see it. We do see it. It went through the top armour of Ray.
But I think it broke the drill bit, so I'm not sure there's any weapon left now.
4,
Good push from Ray again.
3,
Good response.
2.
We're going to go to an audience decision between Speedhole Express and back of this.
Activate.
Away we go. There was definitely some false starts, but we do not care about that. Buttercup and Grapple turnover having an absolute time of things. WheelyBigLad in there too. EMP trying to get involved in the action. Flippador turned over. Self-rights magnificently. Buttercup in there too. There's Aggro Whopper in the action. Tammy getting involved with EMP. Good lift on EMP over by the arena wall. WheelyBigLad's there too, I guess, doing what it does best. Bop and Buttercup go weapon to weapon. Flippador's stuck in the middle of the arena. Can it drive? Yes, it can. EMP upside down. Can it right itself? Not quite. Yes, it does with a little bit of help from Flippador. Pit is available. We might have to empty the pit a couple of times. Aggro Whopper, I think, has stopped driving and now cannot right itself from there. I think that could be the end of Aggro Whopper. Pit button activated. Aggro Whopper is back moving again, but has lost one side of drive. Buttercup by the pit. The crowd bays for the pits.
To be honest, it's just more piles.
Tammy lifts up Bop into the corner. Good stuff right. Down goes Aggro Whopper. They were struggling anyway. Aggro Whopper down the pit and is first out. Grapple turnover and flips. WheelyBigLad out of the arena. WheelyBigLad says, I do not care about that. We will continue. Buttercup in there as well trying to grab. There's Tammy in the action too. Bop rights itself. There's Flippador doing what it says on the tin, really. EMP stuck on the lip of the pit. That's a shame for them. They can't really get back in the action from there. Buttercup still vibing. I think has also lost a side of drive. WheelyBigLad and Grapple turnover still kind of having their own little fight with the arena, I think. Tammy down the pits, that's a shame for them. Good lift from Flippador on Buttercup. WheelyBigLad's weapon not spinning, just thwacking away. There's Bop and Flippador going weapon to weapon as well. Buttercup grabs Bop. EMP back in the action.
9.
We're going to time.
8,
Seeing everyone here.
7,
God knows how you're all
6,
going to judge this.
5,
Grapple
4,
turnover in there too.
3,
WheelyBigLad and Flippador.
2,
Grapple turnover down the pit late on. So we are left, I think, with 4.
Roboteers,
And we're still
stand
going.
by.
There's no decision. The minibot
3,
gets flung up by
2,
Flippador.
1.
They carry on for
Activate.
another 2 minutes. Okay then. Flippador and Bop.
The pit is rising. Why is this happening?
And Aggro Wobber back from the dead. Grapple turnover as well. Flippador and grapple turnover. Okay. David, if you turn your transmitter on, get back in the action. Grapple turnover almost out of the arena. Why is Aggro Wobber's working fine? What's going on? It's back. It is literally back from the dead.
This is like the Undertaker in WWE.
Yeah, literally. Play the Undertaker's music. There's Tammy in the action too. WheelyBigLad as well. Pits to be activated
Descending.
again.
Pitch descending.
I've lost track of what's going on. WheelyBigLad get away from the EMP. Looks very sad and tired, doesn't it, over there? A hammer off now between Bop and Aggro Wobber. Grapple turnover fighting itself. EMP and Tammy. Flippador flips back. Grapple turnover over and out of the arena. Aggro Wobber down the pit for a second time. I don't think you're going to get a chance this time to carry on. Bop. The arena has it in the corner there. Grapple turnover. Swinging its weapon around. Ooh-ah. Over goes Tammy. Flippador, brutally efficient in the arena, has won events in the past. You can see why. WheelyBigLad in there too. Over by the arena hazard. It's grapple turnover. Bop and Flippador still circling and trying to posture against one another. Over goes Bop. Ooh, couldn't right itself from there. Does this time with a little bit of help. Bop over by the arena wall. Doesn't quite go out. Bop still hanging on for dear life. Still hanging on and gets away with it. Flippador has an absolute bee in his body. WheelyBigLad down the pit. Bop still not out of the arena. Tammy's stuck and in trouble. Bop and Flippador having their own kind of private fight. EMP also back from the dead now.
10.
EMP down the pit. And no, Flippador. Is it going
6,
down? It is down.
5,
And Bop is the winner of the Crew
3,
Rumble.
2, 1.
Bop is the winner.
Seals.
Bop.
Activate.
Away we go.
And a big cluster into the middle, and Overclock immediately hammering down onto that gaffer tape of
Forkhead though, giving a good nudge and trying to get Overclocked out of the arena. Didn't quite manage it. Of course, poor old Bogmeister's lost its lifting, well, not even lifting panel at this point, panel already. It's trying its best though, it's still in the fight, still got the pontoons. Forkhead zipping around as it did earlier on today. It's looking pretty good actually, considering it's been essentially 12 rounds with Mike Tyson.
I mean, absolutely. Overclocked is probably the most
Enable.
fixed robot in this competition right now, as in they've suffered the least damage. But, well, that ankle cormorant. But unfortunately, Overclock's getting pushed around by Forkhead, so they're struggling here.
The pit button activated. Crowd want the pit. Pit goes down.
Cormorant is in danger there. They have got their weapon is stuck on the thing.
Nudge by Fang, Cormorant on the rickety edge. Are they going to go down?
They're spinning the wheel, desperately trying, but the wheel's buckled, so it's not rotating.
Fang activating full body spinamo. Bogmeister almost goes down.
Not quite though, escaping away. They're one wheel on that wagon.
Oh, Cormorant, can they get away? They are slowly.
If they're not careful, that weapon's going to pull them in. And we got 4 robots making away. Fang in the danger zone. Overclocked had their hook right into Fang.
I think Overclocked has lost one side of drive as well. That's a good attack on Forkhead. Forkhead pushes back Fang. The wedge panel they attach is kind of being a sticky plaster ripping away.
30 seconds left. Will Cormorant go to the pit?
Oh, there goes Cormorant.
There's Overclocked.
Million, and of course Overclocked as well. Cormorant I think has been stuck there for far too long. Fang pushes Forkhead down, so we're down to 1. There are wisps of smoke I think coming from the pit maybe, I don't know.
No, not quite, but Bogmeister was struggling there. They almost got caught.
The chances for Bogmeister
9,
spinning is Fang.
8,
Fang's face has been
7,
ripped away once again.
6,
And the
5,
final 10 seconds,
4,
we've only got 2 fighters
3,
left. We're going to
2,
assume Cormorant is out
1.
of this.
And we go to time between Fang and Bogmeister. Now of course,
Activate.
away we go.
So how many mini-bots do we think will end up in the pit? That is going to be the challenge of this battle.
Yes. Boomzoom, of course, did fight Don't Stop Me Now earlier on in the competition. They did very well. They won that fight. Did Boomzoom, sore loser. Currently going head-to-head with Boom Zoom.
I think Sore Loser opting not to use the saw here, really engaging in the
Not
pushing
yet.
battle.
Yeah, they will do it when the time is right, like now maybe. They're spinning up to speed now. Minibot involved with the fight. Maybe want to stay clear of that big weapon of Sore Loser. Sore Loser bouncing around. Back on its wheels, Boom Zoom hits the pit button. That goes down.
Descending.
Oh! Huge impact there on the Minibot of Boom Zoom. Sore Loser in there too. Sore Loser caught between Boom Zoom and Don't Stop Me Now. Little Minibot. The Lemmings all still active and in the fight currently. Don't Stop Me Now. Oh, there goes one of the Lemmings down the pit.
I think that was a self-sacrifice there.
And there goes Boom Zoom's Minibot. Andy, what on earth was that?
So Sore Loser on the wrong side. They don't want to be there. They're getting ever closer into the corner.
They're
And
using
Don't
Jevon
Stop Me Now
straps to get round the
pushing
pit.
over Boom Zoom.
Oh my goodness! Rob!
It's not over. There's still.
And most of the colour coordinate as well. I love that. Good flip there from Lilith. Sir Lancelot caught on top. Strongerhold trying to get the grabbers into play. Doesn't quite manage it to begin with. There's mild Perillelogram as well.
If I was the driver of Lilith, I would be going up against the Lancefrog as much as I can, just for that experience.
Absolutely. So Lancelot pinned against the wall with Strongerhold. Good flip by Lilith. Good flip again from Lilith on mild Perillelogram. Good driving for Sir Lancelot in underneath Lilith briefly.
I thought for a second there we were going to see Lilith and Sir Lancefrog work together to get mild Perillelogram out into the Uta zone, but not quite.
Not quite. Lilith goes for the pit button, misses it. Strongerhold gets it now. Pit button activated.
Descending.
Crowd want the pit. It's being opened.
So let's see who the first one is, if any, to go into the pit. We have Strongerholder now trying to get on the back of Sir Lancefrog for a grab. Not quite long enough. The forks are not getting underneath.
Great
and
flip there from Lilith. Mild Perillelogram against the wall. Lancelot bumping with Lilith. Oh, almost down the pit. Gets away with it.
Only just. We see Strongerholder dancing around the pit.
I think they've lost one side of
scared.
drive on the near side. Lilith almost down the pit, and mild Perillelogram now on the lip.
So all they need is a nudge, and I think that's mild Perillelogram going in. So who will be the one? Lilith making their way over, and they
Down
do
it goes.
nudge them in.
Good push from the Frog though. Pushes Lilith into the corner, trying to use that lifting arm now as a grabber. Strongerhold struggling to translate as well. Good push from Lancelot again.
I think, as you mentioned, Strongerhold one-wheel drive is
I think that's now two-wheel drive now. That's really struggling to translate, so no movement from Strongerhold anymore. We're down to two.
And these are two lifting bots, so that's a great pin there from Lilith.
The two most experienced roboteers in the fights. So Lancelot and Lilith dance
And
with each
both of
other.
them charging but
9,
dodging.
8,
So they're just surviving as we approach the final
Push there
7
from Frog
seconds.
again, in underneath.
4,
Last few
3,
seconds as we go to
2,
time. Can they get
1.
Lilith down the pit? Not quite.
6.
We go to the full 2 minutes.